I'm Vijay Srinivas and we're joined by senior BJP leader and veteran actress Ms. Khushbu Sundar here in Madurai. Thanks very much indeed for joining us on the Federal, ma'am. How optimistic are you about winning elections 2026?
Overall, the ND alliance, absolutely optimistic because you know the kind of talks which have been going on, and you see even the kind of exit polls what I've been looking at. Everything shows that ND alliance has an edge over, and we are going to form single-handedly a major government. So look forward to that because enough of DMK atrocities. There's only been loot and scam. There's no development, so people are tired of them, and they say that we want AIDMK to come back.
All right. So, elections, I asked this question to, I just had an interview with Dr. PTR and I asked this question to him as well. I'm asking you as well. Elections are fought on two things, right? That's exactly what political pundits keep pointing out. One is arithmetics and the other one is optics, right? Arithmetics, both the alliances, the DMK and the AIDMK led NDA seems to be formidable in a way. But optics, and I think Actor Vijay seems to be having a lot of leverage there because we saw his campaign in Kolattur, Stalin's own bastion, and even in his Perambur constituency as well. Lots of crowd pulling that he could able to do it, and it's a very engaging and energetic crowd, something that's not usual of other crowds, right? So you think optics is something that the AIADMK led NDA is not able to garner this time.
No, we are totally dependent on not only optics and arithmetic. I think we are dependent on the kind of good work AIDMK and NDA has done in the past. When you look at India as a nation, from rock bottom 5 to top 3, the way India has flourished as one of the most powerful countries in the globe today, where India was shown only as a country which is downtrodden with poverty and corruption and terrorism. Here we have a country where the world is looking up to it. So if we can deliver in the nation, why can't we deliver in Tamil Nadu? So we work on what we have delivered and we garner votes on the basis of the trust people have on us. Now, as far as optics alone is concerned, everyone who comes to see Vijay cannot be the voter. If that was the case, I'm sure the pundits or the arithmetic, what you're talking about, because before optics, it's the arithmetic. So the arithmetic pundit should have said Vijay is going to surpass NDA and DMK. But that is not happening. There's a vast difference where AIDMK NDA alliance is at almost 41%, DMK is somewhere on 38 point something, and Vijay is on 12%. So that's a vast difference in the arithmetic there. So I don't go by that. Arithmetic and optics, yes, it's required, but they are not the only sole point to win an election.
All right, so I think it's also seen as an election of young Turks, right? You've got Uday Stalin for the DMK, you've got Vijay for the TVK, and if there is one equivalent within the BJP, that should be Annamalai there, But Annamalai is certainly not contesting this election. There were rumors of him contesting from Modakuruchi. We don't know what has happened. You could spill the beans of the inside story there. But you think that's a disadvantage for the NDA this time because he's a huge crowd puller. He's able to do that mass mobilization that much wanted NDA much.
I always say the leadership knows the best. So I think we should leave to the leadership to decide as to who's going to contest and who's not going to contest. One person's single population is not going to win. I didn't win 2021. Annamalai didn't win 2021. It's only Vanati who was able to fight against Mr. Kamal Hassan and win in Coimbatore. You had somebody like M.R. Gandhi who was able to win in his constituency. You had C.R. Saraswati who was able to win in Modakurchi. And you had, of course, Nainar sir. So it's your own population. It's not the people who come to see you. How much are you going to garner votes for them? It's the people who are going to have trust in you and vote for you. If Annamalai is not fighting election today, I'm sure the party has something else lined up for him.
If you could tell us what is it lined up for him?
I think Mr. Amit Shah and Prime Minister Modi would be the right person to say that.
All right. So, Tirupparangundram was seen as touted to be the Ayodhya moment for the state of Tamil Nadu, right? And there was large speculation that the Bharatiya Janata Party might be actually contesting that. But but they don't seem to get the ticket as far in the NDA alliance. The AIDMK is contesting right now. Is it because the other party must have felt that there could be potential backlash in the elections?
No, I don't think so. I think people have gone into a mode where they read too much in between the lines, or they come and they sit with their own assumptions. I would rather tell people that if you have bigger, larger political heads sitting and deciding on something, I'm sure it's for the betterment of both the parties, for the alliance. What is important is the NDA alliance has to win. Edapadi Panicham sir has to be the chief minister. That's the only aim and goal what we have this election. So I think we are working towards that. So I would suggest that rather reading in between the lines, and this could be the reason. These ifs and buts and probables do not work in the actual ground reality of politics.
There are also conversations of inside deals, just like what's happening in Kerala, right? The BJP is alleging that the UDF and LDF have an inside deal. The UDF says, the BJP and the LDF have an inside deal. Same way in Tamil Nadu, there's also conversations, right? There's an inside deal between the DMK and the BJP. What would you say?
If that was the deal, then I don't think Sundar C would be fighting against PTR in Madurai.
All right, so that's an important topic today, so it's going to be. I asked Mr. PTR, it's a battle between a Wall Street banker and a veteran filmmaker there. So and he said he's expecting 55% of votes this time for the DMK, and he says there's no anti-incumbency and all that. So your husband was instrumental in shaping up your career, but you're the senior politician here. What is your suggestion for him, advice for him?
There's no suggestion, no advice. I think he's a very intelligent man. A man of few words, but people do not know his intelligence level because he hardly speaks. And I've always said, the minute he decided to come into politics and fight election, I've always said, don't think of him that he's somebody who doesn't know anything about politics. He's the underdog. So you don't know the amount of depth he has in him politically and with the history of Tamil Nadu and world over. So I'm sure he's going to spring a surprise. So all I would tell others, including PTR sir, with all due respect to him, if he says there's no anti-incumbency, then he should be in touch with the reality. You go everywhere and people say that there is anti-incumbency. And what just a little while ago we were talking about the arithmetic, that shows that AIDMK and NDA alliance is ahead of DMK, where they say that AIDMK and NDA alliance is going to garner somewhere around 130 to 140 votes, whereas DMK is going to be only somewhere around 90 to 100. So there is a difference there. Anti-incumbency is written on everyone's face. Let's wait till the 4th of May. People will get the result.
One last question there, ma'am. What's the number that you'd like to throw here for the BJP?
I'm not going to throw any numbers. All I would like to say is we are very confident that we are winning and we are forming the government. That's it.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.